Okay, today we're going to be looking at the second part of what I had looked at last time, which was networking for LAN gaming with virtual machines through 86box and DOSBox. Uh, and today we're going to be focusing on the DOS side of things. Last time we looked at the Windows side of things, so how to do this purely with DOS and the DOS programs you need to be able to load up to be able to establish networking both IPX and TCP/IP with drivers. So the first thing again is to install PCAP. If you haven't already installed it from the last video, basically download the installer here, install it on your host machine for Windows 11 or 10 or what other Windows you're using underlying the DOSBox and 86box systems. And then you have to reboot and then configure. So the 86box, which will start up, kind of goes through this like we did last time. So this time we're going to be using the DOS PC 46 pre-configured one here. So under network, you will now have, if you reboot and install that PCAP, you should have PCAP in here. You can get the name of your Ethernet interface, which is the name that shows up under your active network interface under Connect using. So this name here. In the case of 86box, it lets you choose it, but you just have to know what the name is here. In the case of DOSBox, you actually have to cut and paste this name out of here and paste it exactly as is into the DOSBox configuration. But for 86box, you can choose it. So that's where we get that information from the network properties in your host machine on the network settings. So choose that here, and then we're going to be using adapter for the virtual machine is an Novell NE2000, and again take note of the 0x300 address and IRQ3, which is usually what it is by default, but if you have other things configured on your virtual machine using these IRQs, you might have to choose different ones here, and then be aware of that when you set up the configuration. So that's what we do. So we'll start this machine up. Okay, so we have a directory called start with the TCP configuration. So to set that up, you load the packet driver. If you push enter on this, it'll tell you that you have to specify some parameters. So NE2000 0x60 is usually what I use as the packet interrupt number, and interrupt level is what we got from the the card settings for NE2000, which is IRQ3. So interrupt level 3 IRQ3, IO address 0x300, which is what we got from the options when we set it up. So if you do that, then this should load successfully and give you an Ethernet address. So then the next step is to go into MTCP. In MTCP, you've got to set a parameter, so otherwise it needs a parameter file to get some of the settings from. So I've got a pre-configured one called network.cfg. So this is basically what I have configured in that network.cfg file. It actually builds most of it, other than you have to spy the packet interrupt, which is 060, which you specified before when you loaded the packet driver, MTU 1500, and the rest you can define, or it will get the odds on if it's using DHCP. So that's what's in that file. But we have to set MTCP CFG equal to that file for DHCP to do its thing. So now you can see that we have got an address and the gateway, and we can pin out to the gateway successfully. Now the other one I'm going to bring up, so that's with 86 box. Now I'm going to do the other one with DOSBOX. So this one, the other thing I mentioned, should mention that you need to be able to get the DOS drivers for those, basically all these files. This one has the IPX and the TCP packet driver, and you get those from this location here. Basically all these, you can download the entire thing down as a zip, and then get all these files, which will include the packet driver for TCP and the IPX. So for TCP, you go to the packet driver. The other thing you have to do is in DOS, for DOSBox, you have a DOSBox-X config file. So I'll show you what that looks like. That's got to be modified before this will work too. So in here, as described in my previous video, you look for IPX, even though we're doing TCP right now, and set that to false. And so here, any 2000 equals true. So that basically will make it have an any 2000 card, and the 303 are what is set here as well for the default settings for the IRQ address, and the network address, or the address for the network card that it's sitting at is 300. MAC address, and then backend has to be PCAP for what we're doing to interface with that PCAP interface that was installed in the first steps. So that has to be done, and then once that's done, then you can reboot your host machine and go into here and see, go to the packet driver, PKT, RV, Mini 2000, and 0x60, IRQ3, and 0x300 is the address. So again, we got an Ethernet interface successfully packet driver set up here. Then we go back to those TCP utilities. You have to be able to download MTCP as well from this site here. So you download the entire suite of those in the zip file, and then put them on your DOS PC. So I've done that and just put them in a directory called MTCP. And again, you have to set MTCP CFG equals network.cfg. And this one, network CFG, is similar to the other one. I just have a few other things configured in here for an FTP server to be able to do some testing as well. Just see if I can type that. So it basically has the same things, but I do have FTP server password, going to a password file and a log file. So because the MTCP will not let you ping between DOS virtual PCs or the DOS emulated PCs unless something is running. So I used FTP because it comes with an FTP server. If you look in here, you can see FTP SRV and here an FTP client. So I use that as a way to test, because otherwise, if you're not actually using something that uses the network, it won't let you ping from DOS machine to DOS machine. So once you set MTCP CFG equals network.cfg, then we can run DHCP, and it gets an address. But as you can see, we can ping out to 10.0.1 and get a response, but we cannot ping to the other 86 box PC. It's at 104. This one's at 165. But you can't ping this does not respond with anything. So unless MTCP has an application running using the TCP protocol, it will not do anything. So you have to have that. So I've made a file called type FTP pass.txt to be able to test this. So test and test 1, 2, 3. So now that's what the server will want. So now that that's running on 0.65, which is that we can ping 10.0.60. That does work to give a response. And you can actually FTP to test 1, 2, 3. You can see that it says we logged in. So the two machines are talking to one another using FTP from DOS machine to DOS machine. So that's how the DOS machine works. Just exit out of this. So now we'll show you how IPX works. So let's shut down these PCs and start again. C to get out of that. Shut that down. So now for IPX, again, the first part of the configuration for the PCAP is all the same, but you don't load a TCP packet driver, you load Novell's packet driver for the NE2000 card, which uses IPX, so slightly different process. So we'll start this machine up here again. Okay, so I've copied those IPX files to an IPX folder on here, the ones that are part of this from this site here. So now what we do is we go LSL. NE2000, and it should automatically, you don't have to specify any additional options with this. It knows where the card is and gives it it's actually in the CFG here. Whatever's in the net CFG 3 and the 300 will be defined in there, so it knows without you specifying at the command line what it's supposed to be. And then the next command is IPX go DI. So that basically has loaded up the drivers we need for NetWare and bound them to the card. So now we have to do the same thing with the DOSBox machine. And in this one, I just have this different directory called DOSNet. IPX is inside that one. So it's LSL, NE2000, and IPX ODI. So now to test this, we'll go back. And I have Doom in a directory called Doom on each machine. So we run setup for Doom and tell it we want to run a network modem serial game. And it's an IPX compatible network. And we'll go Deathmatch Showdown and F10 to go. So it's basically sitting there looking. Now we'll go on this guy. This one also has Doom. On the network, serial game, IPX network, Deathmatch, and F10. And you can see they both connect. They automatically find each other. So this is loading up the Doom game now that they found one another. other one, controller 10. So then, as you can see, you can play Doom from so the two are working with Doom. So I'm just going to escape out of here. Go back to the other one. So F8, F12. Okay, so that basically shows you that they're both working together, and you could have these on different PCs too, as long as they're probably on your own local area network, and they should be able to work as a LAN party setup with being on a different machine. If you had a different Windows host, you could then run DOSBox or 86box on the other machine, and then connect and do LAN gaming with Doom. So that shows you how that works. So I think that's all I wanted to share with this video. So just showing that networking is possible with either DOSBox or 86box running emulated DOS machines. So hopefully you learned something new about that, and we'll catch you next time.